I just wanted to come for a few minutes and just talk about Kentucky. Just a couple of minutes, not going to keep you guys too long. And I just wanted to just come and talk about, our Wildcats. Uh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, YouTube, the Loyal BBN fan page. Also, if you on X, look me up at Big Mike 2014-23. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys. Um, all Wildcats. I think it's a state of emergency. I think that what happened, what happened in the first game of the SEC tournament kind of speaks for itself. And we wake up in the morning and we say to ourselves, is this really our Kentucky Wildcats? Is this really what's happening? You try to get a grip of it. You try to tell yourself that, hey, it's just basketball. It happens. Number one teams have been getting beaten all weekend that people thought was going to win the tournament. Purdue just got beat tonight at a buzzer beater. Purdue's going to win the Big Ten. Arizona's going to win the Pac-12. The only two teams that's really taking care of business, three, UConn, Houston, and North Carolina. Everybody else is getting knocked off. Everybody's losing. But Kentucky basketball is not UConn. It's not Purdue. It's not North Carolina. It's not Houston. It's not Arizona. Kentucky basketball is just different. We have been losing so much that it's almost starting to feel like it's normal. Like we just prepare ourselves for the inevitable. And because of that, it feels unnatural. Like it's a lot of things in life that just feels unnatural. And starting to get comfortable, starting to just expect that Kentucky is just going to lose a ball game, then things just don't seem right. Things just don't go the way they're supposed to go. Life just seems upside down, I would like to say. We should never, as Kentucky fans, just be okay with just losing a ball game. We should never, as Kentucky fans, just be okay with just going to the SEC tournament and just losing in the first game consecutive years and just going home. It should never be natural. It would never be as natural as just taking a cup of water and just drinking it. Just this type of emotions, this type of feelings, it just doesn't, it's not natural. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we are dealing with now with the culture of Kentucky basketball. And while people are angry that Kentucky gets beat, it's not even it's not even surprising anymore. Like it's not even saying, "Oh my God, like what just happened? Kentucky just lost. Like the world is just crazy right now." Like no. Everybody's like, "Oh, okay, that's just Kentucky. Of course they lost. That's what they've been doing." That's scary. That's a scary state that we're in right now. I see last night for you guys, you guys watched the ball game, you dealt with your emotions, and then you went off to bed if you was able to sleep. Oh no, not me. See, I wasn't able to just go to bed. My day was just getting started because of the time difference. So I had to sit and waddle in my sorrow. I had to sit in my sorrow all day long and just reflect on Kentucky basketball is just not living up to the par. We're not getting it done. And because of that, we're finding ourselves pretty much on the outside looking in. Everything that we have worked hard for the last part of the year, we let it slip away in 40 minutes of game time. Just let it slip away. I have to hold on to hope to believe that we took this loss to reground us. Did we get our 5-game winning streak going? Did we get too high? Did our emotions cause us to look past A&M because maybe we wanted to play Tennessee, or we were just looking ahead to or maybe we were just looking ahead to the SEC championship. Maybe we just thought it was going to just be a cakewalk. But no one scared of playing Kentucky no more. It used to be a time where when you seen Kentucky in your bracket and you seen them and you had to play them most likely, you asked your coach on why. Why would you allow this to happen? Don't you know anybody in the committee? Can't you get us off the line with Kentucky? Now people are praying so they can knock off Kentucky. Now people are saying, please, committee, please put Kentucky in our bracket. We got an 80% chance of beating Kentucky. And that's why it's scary right now as a Kentucky Wildcat fan. This is uncalled for. It shouldn't be this way. But this is where we're at right now. What needs to happen? I have to say to myself, Mike, the Cats lost. Texas A&M completely manhandled them the whole ball game. We got close. But as we got closer, Texas A&M said, hold on, not yet. We got an answer for you. And we didn't. And our defense completely reverted back to what it was doing a couple of weeks ago. We were just out there. The referees, I can sit here all day and just tell you the referees just made it hard for us. I can do that. A lot of people will use that excuse. But the bottom line is we didn't play Kentucky basketball against A&M. And A&M played A&M ball. They played big boy bully ball, period. Did we get a lot of fouls called on us? Yeah. But when you go back and look at how many fouls was called throughout the ball game, it wasn't completely unlopsided. It wasn't that we had 40 and they had 15. That wasn't the case. The case was we didn't show up and we didn't give it everything we got and we didn't leave it all on the floor. We walked in the locker room and we wasn't even out of breath because we didn't give it everything we got. So I hope that we got this nasty loss out of the way. I hope this loss regrounds us and shows us, okay, we gotta regroup again. We had a good game against Tennessee. We went on a 5-game winning streak. We did good, but you know what? Let's get back to what we was doing in those ball games that made us so effective. Let's get back to playing that type of basketball again. Are we going to be, are we going to be ready? Tomorrow's the big day. Sunday's the big day. Kentucky's got to sit home, and they got to watch Auburn and Florida play for the SEC title. What? No. That's a disgrace to Kentucky to be sitting home watching these guys play for a title when you know this right here was supposed to be your year. You were supposed to bring that SEC title home this year. But now you sitting home watching these two mediocre teams play ball. If you want to play with the big boys, you got to act like you want to play with the big boys. Kentucky's got to figure this out. I know. I get it. People don't like Calipari. People said Calipari needs to go. I get it. People say Calipari needs to pack his bags and be out of town a year ago, 2 years ago. But I have to say this. When our guys go on the floor and they don't play the type of defense that they're supposed to play, when our guys go on the floor and they try to take it over by being a one-man show, that's not Calipari. That's our team. We got away from who we are. We got away from what helped us win these ball games. It's okay if people disagree with me. I'm not upset about that one bit. We all have our opinions. We all have our thoughts. But our players have to go out there and take better ownership of how they playing basketball. Our bigs, Calipari can't go out there and be a big. He can't go out there and stand in Z's body and defend like he's supposed to. He can't go out there and be aggressive like our bigs. He just can't. He can't go out there and be aggressive until our guys decide that they want to be aggressive and they want to play like big men. What can we do? What can we do? The last two games, we've got what? We haven't even gotten 15 points out of our bigs, maybe 16 points out of our bigs in the last two ball games. Can't win ball games like that. I get it. You got to have solid guards going into March. We have solid guards, but we're going to need a little help. Yeah, we knocked off Tennessee with our guards play, but we're going to need more help. And our bigs have got to step up. Like we got to dispense the ownership throughout the whole organizations. We can't just say it's Cal. We can't just say it's the players. Collectively, if you're representing the Kentucky Wildcats out there on the floor, then you have to show up and you have to do your part. You just have to. And until that happens, what can we say? I expect us. I said this on the post-game show with Texas A&M, and I'm gonna stand by this because if I don't allow myself to feel this way, then you know what? Then all hope is gone. Kentucky's making it past the first weekend. Anybody we can clip that, we can roll it, you can screenshot it. Kentucky's making it through the first weekend. We're going to win our first two games. Let's just put that in the book. That's the kind of belief that I have in my Kentucky Wildcats. We're going to turn this sour loss into something positive. Let's go, Cats. Why not? Why not these Cats? Why can't we be successful? It takes those guys in the locker room. I haven't seen any pictures, and maybe somebody out there have seen some pictures. But I wonder after they got home from the SEC tournament, did they go back to the gym and keep working? Or did they just go back to their dorm rooms and say, it's okay. Let's wait for Selection Sunday. Then we'll get to work. You just lost. You just had your butt handed to us. You should get on that plane, go back to the gym, and get back to work. Like, this is important. Newsflash, this matters. This matters to a whole lot of people. A lot of people are spending their hard-earned money to support the Kentucky Wildcats because they love the Wildcats. The least we can get is something positive in return. Because a negative plus a negative, I guess they say is a positive. I guess is what they say, right? I don't know. He played against A&M. Texas, Brian, he only played a couple of minutes. He didn't play very long. You can't play long if you're going in there and you're getting bullied immediately. Like, when you go in the ball game, you know this. When you go in the ball game, you got to go in. And you got to go in with the attitude of, I'm going in and I'm playing big boy ball. I'm not going in to get shoved around. I've been on the bench. I've had a chance to see what's going on. When I get on the floor, I have an idea of the flow of game, of what the other team is doing. I should be ready. When your number's called, you be ready. You get on there. You know, it's a player called Reed Sheppard. He don't start. He sits on the bench and he observes. And you can tell. And you can see what's going on. And when he gets in the ball game, you can see the spark that he has. You can see the difference that he makes as soon as he gets off the bench because he's been looking. Some people really want to know the game of basketball, and some people just want to get out there and just play basketball. He wants to know the game of basketball. That's why he makes such a big difference when he gets on the floor. He just does. Wildcats, we can fix this, man. You know, we can fix this. But it's those guys in the locker room that have to make up their mind that they're going to be consistent. We went on a good run here to end the seasons. We did what we were supposed to do to get a number 2 seed. We got the best path to the SEC title than you can ask for. Somebody else just wanted it more than Kentucky. And that's what the problem is. We gotta want it more. It has to mean more. We have to dedicate ourselves to playing every single play. Can't take a play off. Got to get up and down the court. Got to get that rebound. Got to block out. Got to get on the floor and get those 50-50 balls. And if you don't show that you want to win, you probably won't win. You got to want it more than the other team. You could just tell Texas A&M came out from the tip saying to ourselves, we want this. We need to get ourselves in the NCAA tournament. We need to secure our seat on the plane, definitely. How do we do that? We do that by beating Kentucky. And they beat Kentucky. And they're on the plane. Someone shot the latest bracket, and they showed us in UConn's bracket with Iowa State as our number 2 and we're number 3. I take that bracket. UConn and Iowa State, I take that bracket. Give it to me. But what are we going to do with another bracket that seems to work in our favor? We just have to we scratch our head because as fans, we just want to hold on to that faith that things are just going to be okay. We just hold on to it, and we just keep believing that this is going to be the year. Are we playing? We would play the number 1 seed. We would play in the Sweet 16. Wow. If we're the number 3 seed, that's who we get. Wow. We would play the number 1 seed, and we can beat them. If we see the team that played Tennessee, if we see the team that played Auburn, if we see the team that played Alabama, if we can take a combination of all of that and take it into March, why can't we be successful? Why can't we win one, advance? Win another one, advance. Ask those guys inside the locker room if they want it or not. I cannot believe that we at the situation now where we're one and done. You lose and the season's over. It came so fast. It came so fast. And it's almost over. We're technically one game away from the season being over. Please don't let that be the case. Please don't let that be the case. Please don't let us go into the tournament and have a lapse and just keep beating our first game. Please, someone tell me that's not going to happen this year. Tell me we're going to make it past the first weekend. Well, we didn't make it past the first day. Well, our first game in the SEC tournament. We didn't make it past it, and we got our butts handed to us. And while the score wasn't as bad as it looked, it was bad. Texas A&M just had an answer. Texas A&M was one of those teams who just shot the lights out. That's just what they did against us. Clyde says so much pressure on this team, I don't know if they can handle it. I don't know. We have to ask ourselves, are we in a position to handle this pressure? It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on the players, a lot of pressures on the coach. But you got to make a lot of money to have that kind of pressure. Like you get paid to have that kind of pressure on your shoulders. I wouldn't be ashamed. I wouldn't be pressured if I was making that much money. That's what you do. You make the calls. You do whatever it takes for us to win the ball game. But Kentucky has to show up in this ball game. Ever who we play, it don't matter. One thing for sure, no matter who we play, one thing cannot happen. We cannot look past them and see who we might get in the second game. Because we'll get caught up and we'll get beat. Because no one's afraid. I don't care who we playing, man. Those guys are going to be like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? We get to play Kentucky? No problem, coach. We got this. Let's just keep it close. Let's just give ourselves a chance to win this ball game. And you know what? we might just come up lucky. And that's what teams are doing. They're keeping it close. They're finding a way to not get just ran out of the gym, and they find ways at the end of the ball game to close it out and beat Kentucky. I agree. Reed needs to shoot that ball about 12 times, 14 times. He needs to get up by between Reed and Reed. They need about 30 shots. They just do. We're gonna have to shoot the lights out. We don't know if we can count on our defense. We don't know. So with that in mind, we're gonna have to score 100 points. We're going to get up down the floor, and we got to score 100 plus points. We just do. We got to rely on our offense. But it's almost here, man. It's almost here. And I'm sorry. And I'm ashamed to say this as a Kentucky fan, but I'm nervous. Like, I am literally nervous about each ball game that Kentucky plays. I am nervous. Of course, I know Iowa State's not I know Iowa State is not a pushover. Iowa State is a ball. Them guys can ball. But that's what I'm saying. No one's afraid of Kentucky. No one's afraid of Kentucky. And you think Iowa State's going to be like, oh, my goodness, Kentucky's over here with us? Yeah, baby. We get to knock off an elite team. Yeah, okay. We get to knock off the Wildcats. That's just another notch on our belt. Why not? They didn't pass the ball enough, and that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We got to pass the ball around. We got to move the ball. We can't get caught up in trying to have it to be like a one-man show. That's just something that we just can't do. We got to play better ball, and when we do that, we see what happened. So let's just do it, man. Let's let Kentucky just go out and hopefully do what Kentucky basketball is expected to do, and that's to win an SEC. That's to win a NCAA tournament game. See, we're not even worried about the title just yet. We just want to win a game. We want to win consecutive games in the NCAA tournament. Can't we do that? We just got to continue to play, man. We got to get back to believing. See, the thing about it is, what I thought was we have a lot of hard games. We find ways to win so we don't give up. I think because it was so much pressure to win that ball game against Texas A&M, I think our guys our young guys, I think they panicked. I think they feel like they had to take over the game. I think they had to feel like they had to make a play because we couldn't. It's like, no. We're not going to lose this game. This is the rematch. We've been waiting on this ball game. And because of that, we got very uncharacteristics. And we try to help guys to take over the game and do things that they didn't have to do. So when we decide to come back, reel it back in, Kentucky, please. When we come back to playing, I'm playing for you. You're playing for me. It doesn't matter who gets the points. It doesn't matter who gets noticed as long as Kentucky wins the basketball. And I think that's the biggest thing. I agree, Coleman. I believe we got punked against A&M for the second time. And we can't say, well, we wasn't healthy this time. We had everybody. So we can't say that we got punked. We can't say that we didn't have everybody. No, I'm sorry. We did get punked. We were scared. They came out and played big boy ball. And if any other teams watch that, and if any other teams watch what A&M did to us, they like, oh, yeah, we can do that too. All we got to do is be extra, extra physical. And we can just knock Kentucky around. But I'm sitting here right now. And I'm saying that Kentucky is going to make it. They're going to win their first two games at least. We're not losing in the first weekend. We're going to win in the first weekend. I'm calling it right now. I don't care who we got to go through. I don't care what that means. we're going to win our first 2 games and we're going to get out of the first weekend. I don't. Do we want to play Texas A&M for the 3rd time, Matt? I don't know. We thought getting a rematch with them was our time. We healthy now. We got our guys back. It's a rematch. So we're going to win this time. No, that didn't work out. It just, experience. You can tell that the experience of A&M was just so much better than our freshmen. It just was. But unlike the NCAA tournament, we get another shot. It ain't over. We get one more tournament. And the only thing we can do now from here on out is just support our Wildcats. We can be mad at the coach. We can be mad at what's happened over the past years. We can be gruntled. We can be angry. We can call anybody what we want to call them. But if you're a Wildcat fan, at this particular time, the only thing you can do is just get behind your Cats. And if nothing else, you just get behind the players. And we just got to hold on to faith that our guys can get past the first weekend. Since when has it been a time when we're just praying, can we please just make it past the first weekend? We have had so many disappointments that we can't even make it past the first weekend, that now we're just like, please, like, get your crow's feet out, get your rabbit foot, whatever you do superstitious, put your hat on backwards, turn it inside out, wear your jersey, get in the shower, go for a ride, whatever you got to do. That's the state of Kentucky basketball, is can we make it past the first weekend? Why do we got to keep getting beat in the first round of the NCAA tournament? Why can't make it past the first weekend? So we'll see. This team defense is so bad that the game isn't over till there's 35 seconds. We just got to see what happens, man. We got to see what happens with Kentucky, and we're playing with house money right now, I guess. But what do we have to lose? I mean, right now we can only go up. We can only go up in terms of how we improve in the NCAA tournament, because we haven't had a good out in the past few years. So all we can do now is any team cannot do that to Kentucky. There are a few teams like Texas or Florida in the NCAA tournament. To beat Kentucky, you have to have 2 stud guards. Older teams can they can. And that's what it comes down to right there. It just comes down to we're gonna have to be more physical than Kentucky. Since we can't be more physical than a team, then we got to rely on some turnovers. We got to rely on getting out in the transition, and we got to rely on just getting as many fast break points as we can. Because if teams come down, and they will, and they come down, they're going to slow it down. They're going to hit the block. They're going to take us off the dribble, and they're going to man us. And then they're going to get offensive rebounds. And then they're going to put it back up, and then they're going to get in ones. All I could do is just smile. So, it is Kentucky. It is our team. It's the ones that we love dearly. And that's who we are as a program. We got to just keep playing. Kentucky team wasn't built for March. Yep, you got that right. They are built for April, brother. So, hey, let's go, man. Let's just go Cats. Let's believe what happens. We all standing by waiting for the announcements of where we're going, who we playing, who we got to beat, what's it going to take for us to keep moving, what's it going to take for us, who we got to beat to make this a special run in March. It just do. Do you think people are saying, oh, well, Purdue got beat, they're not going to win the title? People still got Purdue as a chance to win the title. Oh, Duke lost. Well, Duke still has a chance. Oh, Arizona got beat. Arizona still has a chance to win the title. So as ugly as it's been for Kentucky basketball, as ugly as it's been, We just have to say we believe. Cody. Cody said the defense would not be perfect. That's just not this team. But if they bring intensity like they had against Tennessee, they can get it done. We have to have that combination of Auburn, Tennessee, and Alabama. Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee. We got to bring that same mindset. We got to bring it to the floor, man. Like, we need to make a statement in that first game. It don't need to be a game where, it's coming down to the last minute of the ball game. What's Kentucky doing? Can the other team just get a stop and have a chance? No. Kentucky needs to come out in that first game and set the pace. Set the pace of how they want the tournament to be. Don't come out and make it a close ball game. Don't come out. Every team in that tournament who is able to make it in that field, who is able to get their name in the bracket, every team wants to win every ball game. And if we don't bring it every single ball game, night in and night out, then it will only be a night and out. And teams are watching. Brackets are going to be destroyed. Brackets are going to be, oh my goodness, Kentucky. Like, what the freak, Kentucky? Like I had you to go to the Final Four. Like, why are you losing for? Like, you just messed up my whole bracket. For real. That's it. So it is what it is. Chris, you want to say, stop it, that they should have pressed the whole ball game. That's fine. We would have adjusted. We would have made the necessary changes. We would have. We would have found a way to break that press, and Rick Barnes would have said, okay, let's back off. But that's over. And all we can do is say, let's look at the intensity of how we had the mindset to play against these teams. No matter how we got it done, no matter how we beat Tennessee, Tennessee pressed us the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the ball game and gave us a hard time. They did. They gave us a hard time. But that's not our fault. We did what we needed to do to win that ball game. Now we got to do what it takes to win our first ball game. Let's don't look past the first ball game. Kentucky's been not playing great ball in March. We got to look towards the first ball game and see how can we take care of business in this first ball game and then we'll deal with everything else. So let's see what happens. We'll wait for the brackets to come out. We'll see what happens. I just wanted to get on for a few minutes, just talk Kentucky, and just kind of get this off my chest and hang out with you guys. So I appreciate it. Once again, thank you guys for following me on YouTube at the Loyal BBN fan page. Like and subscribe my channel. If you're on X, please look me up at Big Mike 2014-23. I appreciate all you guys. I got to drive to work. I feel a little bit better now that I was able to get this off my chest. Thank you guys for letting me vent. I'm glad you guys had a chance to vent also. Kentucky's going to be okay. We're going to figure out a way to win one game at a time and advance. I'm calling it now on the Loyal BBN Fan Show that Kentucky will make it out of the first weekend. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the support. Go